Starting next season, the Champions League will have a brand new format, and in this video, we're gonna test out that format in FC24 to see who would become champion. So with the new format, instead of 32 teams, we'll have 36 teams, and there won't be any groups, at least none that we can see. There will be 4 imaginary groups, and I'll explain that in a second, but all teams will be ranked in the same table, 1 through 36. Each team will play 8 matches, and the teams that rank from 1 to 8th will go directly into the round of 16, while the teams that rank 9th to 24th will play against each other, where the winning 8 sides will complete the round of 16. Teams that finish 25th to 36th, they're out for good. Now here we'll have the teams that will be participating in this video. Here's pot 1, the highest rated clubs in FC24. Here's pot 2. I've tried including as many teams from the real format as possible. And then here's pot 3. I've included Girona because they're having a surprise season. And then here's pot 4 with the weakest sides, let's say. Now how we're going to determine the 8 matches each team has to play is using these pots. So we have a random group generator right here, and when we hit build the teams, we get our 4 imaginary groups. Each group has 9 sides, so each team will play 8 matches. At this point, if you're a little bit confused, I get it. Preparing for this video up until this point, I was a little bit confused too, but we'll get through it together. So starting with group 1, we've got Arsenal, Young Boys, Porto, Girona, Inter, Man City, Milan, PSV, and Shakhtar. This is a very interesting group. Arsenal and Manchester City, Inter, and AC Milan are in the same group, and at the end of the season, Arsenal go undefeated, 8-4-8. They top the group. Inter and Porto with 19 points, Manchester City surprisingly with only 15 points, and AC Milan with only 7 points. Now we're gonna do the same thing 3 more times with the other 3 imaginary groups, and at the end we'll combine all 4 tables into one to see who finishes 1 to 8 and 9 to 24. Now moving on to group 2, we've got Athletic Bilbao, Atletico Madrid, Benfica, Lazio, Liverpool, Manchester United, Salzburg, Sporting, and Tottenham. This group has 3 Premier League sides. We'll see if they all make it into the top 4. I think Liverpool will get first, Atletico will get second, Athletic Bilbao might be a surprise side, I'll say third for them, and Manchester United will sneak in a 4th place finish. And our results are in. I was right about the top 2 sides, except Atletico got first because of a better goal difference, Liverpool finishes second, Benfica's actually third with 15 points, and Tottenham got themselves 14 points. They finished 4th. My 3rd and 4th place predictions, Manchester United and Athletic Bilbao, they finished down in 6th and 7th, and bottom of the table is Salzburg. Now moving on to group 3, we've got Monaco, Aston Villa, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Celtic, Chelsea, Feyenoord, Juventus, and Real Madrid. Bayern and Borussia Dortmund fell into the same group here. Real Madrid, one of the favorites to win the Champions League every season, they are also in this group. And then I'm also curious to see how Chelsea do, as well as Juventus. I feel like they haven't been in the Champions League for a while. Well, Bayern Munich topped this group with 18 points, going undefeated. Juventus got 15 points, they finished 2nd. Real Madrid in 3rd with 14 points. Aston Villa got themselves a 4th place finish with 12 points. Borussia Dortmund, Chelsea each with 9. Then it goes Celtic, Feyenoord, and Monaco at the bottom of the table. At this point, Arsenal's looking pretty good, getting 8 wins out of 8 matches. I'm not sure if anybody else will be able to do that in group 4, where we have Leverkusen, Barcelona, Copenhagen, Galatasaray, Napoli, PSG, Leipzig, Roma, and Union Saint-Gilloise. I'm expecting a top place finish from Mbappe and PSG. I feel like Barcelona will get 2nd and Leverkusen will finish 3rd here. And my predictions ended up being spot on here. PSG got 1st place by goal difference. Barcelona finishes 2nd, Leverkusen in 3rd. Roma finishes 4th. Napoli have the same points. They finish 5th. Galatasaray in 6th. Leipzig with only 7 points. A little bit surprising, finishing 7th. Union Saint-Gilloise with 6 points, finishing 8th, and bottom of the table is Copenhagen. Now that we have results from all 4 imaginary groups, we have to combine them into one single table to see who made it into the round of 16 directly, and which teams will have to compete against each other to join those 8 teams into the round of 16 as well. Well, it took me a while to combine all 4 tables into one, but here we are. I'll show you guys the top 8 first. Coming in 8th is Barcelona with 17 points. PSG finishes 7th. Liverpool are 6th, Atletico is 5th, Bayern is 4th, Porto is 3rd. They surprised me the most in the top 8. Inter finished second, and also Arsenal were kind of a surprise as well. They topped the table with 24 points. Now going down all the way to the bottom of the table, these teams have been eliminated for good. Shakhtar, 0 wins, 0 points. They're dead last. Then you've got Copenhagen with 1 point, Salzburg with 4 points, Young Boys, Monaco, Union Saint-Gilloise, Feyenoord, Celtic, Milan, Leipzig, and then Bilbao and Sporting. They were eliminated on goal difference, which takes us to the more important 9th to 24th place finishers. In 24th place, barely making it, Manchester United. I mean, technically Bilbao has the same goal difference and the same amount of goals scored, same number of wins. So this was an oversight by me when I was making the table. So it's gonna come down to a coin toss, or in this case, a wheel spin. Let's see. Is it Bilbao or is it Manchester United? So the wheel works in Manchester United's favor, meaning we'll keep our table the same way it is. Goodbye to Bilbao. They're eliminated. And then you've got Lazio making it in with 8 points as well. PSV, Girona, Chelsea, Dortmund, Galatasaray, Aston Villa, Napoli, Roma, Tottenham, Real Madrid. And then in 12th place, we've got Benfica, Juventus, Leverkusen, and Manchester City finished 9th. So now these teams have to face each other, which in our case, 24th place Manchester United versus 9th place Manchester City. There's only one match in this round and it's played at the higher ranked team stadium, so it's at the Etihad in this case, and we're gonna quick sim it, and Manchester City takes out Manchester United. And with the win, Manchester City will be matched up against Barcelona in the round of 16. This is because Barcelona was ranked 8th and Manchester City was the highest ranked team outside of the top 8. Next up, we've got the 10th place Leverkusen taking on the 23rd place Lazio. And this one goes to Lazio. Little bit of a shocker, and because Lazio is the lowest ranked side coming out of the knockouts, they're gonna have to face Arsenal. In our next matchup, we've got the 11th place Juventus taking on the 22nd place PSV, and this one goes 2-1 to Juventus. And because Juve was ranked 11th, they have to play PSG, who were ranked 7th. For our next matchup, we've got the 12th place Benfica taking on a 21st place Girona. Even though Benfica's showing up on the right side, it's being played at Benfica's stadium, and it goes to them 4-0. Absolute destruction. Joao Mario with a hat-trick. Being ranked 12th, Benfica matches up with a 6th place Liverpool. And next at the Bernabeu, we've got a huge match. 13th place Real Madrid taking on a 20th place Chelsea. And Real Madrid wins this one 2-0 at home. Bellingham, Modric with the goals. And with the win, Real Madrid sets up a huge derby against Atletico. They were the 5th place finishers. Next up, we've got the 14th place Tottenham taking on a 19th place Dortmund. And this one goes to Tottenham 2-0, which means they're going to be taking on a 4th place Bayern Munich in the round of 16. For our next knockout, we've got the 15th place Roma taking on an 18th place Galatasaray. And Roma takes this one 2-0 once again. So in the round of 16, Roma will be playing Porto. And in the final knockout, we've got the 16th place Napoli taking on a 17th place Aston Villa. And the Italians win this one at home 3-1, which means they're going to be taking on a fellow Italian team, Inter. And here we have it, all of our round of 16 matchups. We'll start with Arsenal versus Lazio. For this one, we'll be at the Emirates. Arsenal went 8-4-8. Will they take out Lazio here without problems? And they will. So they become our first quarter finalists. Next, we'll go Inter Milan versus Napoli. It's going to be played at San Siro, and Inter Milan takes it 3-2. Osimhen missed a penalty early on, so Inter Milan advances to the quarterfinals as well. Next, we've got a huge matchup between Barcelona and Man City, and this one goes to Man City. Barca went down to 10 men, and then Manchester City scored 2 goals. Lewandowski's effort wasn't enough. So Manchester City will take on Arsenal in the quarterfinals. And now let's find out who Inter Milan will get in the quarterfinals. It's going to be PSG versus Juventus. Will there be an upset at Parc des Princes? And there will be! Juventus wins it on penalties. Barcola scored late to take this one into extras, but PSG ended up losing on penalties. So it's going to be another all-Italian matchup here. Juventus will take on Inter Milan in the quarters. Now next up, we've got Liverpool taking on Benfica. This match is being played at Anfield. Benfica has the power to surprise. So let's see if there is a surprise, and there is! 2 shots, 2 goals. Benfica knocks out Liverpool at Anfield. Judging by player ratings, they played a good game. So Liverpool gets left in the dust, and Benfica advanced into the quarterfinals. Let's find out who their opponent is going to be. The next match is Porto versus Roma. Porto did finish 3rd with this squad, to my surprise. We're at the Dragao for this one, taking on Roma, and Porto does not make a mistake. They advanced into the quarters to set up an O Clasico. And you know what happened last time there was an O Clasico. If you don't, Porto won at 5-0. But now we've got another derby. Atletico Madrid taking on Real Madrid. Atletico is the home side. As you'll remember, they finished 5th. And it goes to Atletico in extras. Morata scored in the 82nd minute to take it into extras. And Riquelme, the youngster, won it for Atletico. This was a little bit of a shocker, but Atletico at the end of the day had the home field advantage, so they advanced to the quarterfinals. And now for a final round of 16 matchup, we've got Bayern taking on Tottenham. Now the question on my mind, and I'm guessing yours too, will the Harry Kane curse continue here against his former club? Well, we're about to find out. We're at Sanderson Park for this one. That's the home stadium for Bayern Munich. The Allianz Arena got removed last year, I think. Now it's Harry Kane versus Heung-min Son, and Harry Kane, even though he didn't score, is victorious. Son did score though. So Bayern Munich is the final quarterfinalist. At this point, assessing things, old format versus new format seems to be about the same. But starting with the quarterfinals, we'll do home and away. But because I'm using custom tournament mode to set up these matches, I can't pick a home stadium for each side. So we'll do it in a neutral ground, both matches. So there is no home field advantage. And the first one goes to Man City 3-1. That was Arsenal's first defeat in this video. And the return leg, they win at 1-0, but it's not enough. So Arsenal has to say goodbye here. Man City advances to the semifinals. And next up, we'll do Inter Milan versus Juventus. The neutral ground for this matchup will be Stadio Classico. And the first match goes 2-0 to Juventus. Well, that was a bit of a surprise. Let's see who wins it in aggregate. Ooh. Well, an FC 24 counts away goals apparently still. And there's no setting for turning off away goals in custom tournament mode. And I'm not sure how else I can do this simulation. So we'll go with this. We'll pretend Inter won it on penalties or something. If you're a Juve fan, maybe you'll find this a little bit unfair, but Inter becomes our second semi-finalist. Now it's time for the O Clasico, and the first match goes 2-1 to Benfica. Di Maria will be suspended for the return leg, and without Angel Di Maria, Porto takes it. They win it 3-2 on aggregate, so they advance to the semi-finals where they meet Manchester City. And for a final semi-final matchup, we've got Bayern taking on Atletico Madrid. The first match ends 2-2. Harry Kane still without a goal in this tournament, and the return leg goes 2-1 to Atletico. Morata wins it. Harry Kane doesn't score a single goal in 3 matches. So our final semi-finalist is Atletico Madrid. They'll meet Inter Milan. We'll use Wembley for both semi-final matchups. First, we've got Porto taking on Manchester City, and the first match goes 1-0 to Porto. What a run so far from the Portuguese side. Can they go all the way? The return leg. Here we go. Quick simming. 2-1. So they will go all the way. Evan Nilsson. That was the away goal. Porto takes it on away goals. They shock the world. They take out Manchester City as they become our first finalist here. Can you guys imagine if Mourinho takes over Porto and goes all the way to the Champions League final next season? But anyhow, here's the other semi-final matchup. Atletico taking on Inter. First match, I guess Atletico's home, and it ends 2-2. And the return leg, the second finalist after extras, it's Inter 5-4 on aggregate. Acerbi won it for them in the 92nd minute. So for the final, we'll have Inter Milan taking on Porto. They made it into the Champions League last season with Onana in goal, and they lost to Manchester City, as you'll remember. Can they win it this time with the new format? This right here is the huge final we've all been waiting for since the beginning of this video. Porto versus Inter. Here we go. Who will win it? Will Porto take it all the way? The second place team versus the third place team. Looking at the overall standings, it's underway. Inter Milan on the attack once again. Here's Thuram to Lautaro Martinez. It's a real chance, off the post and in. Lautaro Martinez makes it 1-0. Now it's a tough hill to climb for Porto. Let's see if they can respond. Yet another Inter attack. Mkhitaryan to Lautaro Martinez. What a good layoff, but what a save from Diogo Costa. That should have been 2. We're at the end of the first half, but Porto just stopped attacking. Ends 1-0. Inter kicks off the second half, 1-0 up. The classic Porto chant, Porto, Porto, and they're attacking here. Taremi, the pass to Eustáquio, Varela takes it first time, but the goalkeeper saves. Galeno, Porto still with the attack. Wendell, Varela, Evanilson, Will they tie things up here? What a shot! It goes off target from Evanilson. Here comes Porto once again. Evanilson down the wing. The cross. Taremi, what a save from Sommer! That should have been 1-1. Here's the replay. Look at the reaction time from Sommer. What a save. Easily the man of the match with this save. They look more alive. I was saying Porto did, but Taremi, what a save from Sommer here. And the corner. Cardoso. Çalhanoğlu clears from the line. It's still 1-0 Inter. They're holding on. Barella has the ball. A counter-attack. Can Inter get a second and relax? They've got Fratesi on the wing. Fratesi, he has Thuram all alone. Marcus Thuram. Costa saves. He also was really good. Inter have the final possession, I think. But let's see if Porto can pull off a miracle and force extra time. Pepe has the ball, but I don't think he has enough time. And the final whistle goes. And Inter Milan are your new format Champions League champions. If you've enjoyed this one, don't forget to watch this video and hit the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.